Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name's Claire and today I am doing another weekly review. So this is where I go through my planner for the last week. So it's currently Monday and I'm looking at my week Monday through Sunday of last week. And essentially what I'm going to do is walk you through what were the goals that I set up for the week, kind of when I did my weekly setup. And I do have that video and I can link that in the cards above. And then I'm going to go through in terms of day by day, what did I kind of set out to do in the morning and what did I wind up doing by the end of the day. And I will preface this by saying I did struggle a little bit like mental health wise this past week. So I had an email come through about kind of some administrative stuff in my life that I'm trying to work through just in terms of like my student loan for next semester and if it's going to happen. And I'll talk about it a little bit later, but essentially I completely changed what my plan is for the next semester and moving forward, like for the last semester of my degree. So I'll talk through that kind of as I get to that section, but it just kind of threw my week. I think that happened on Wednesday, I want to say. And then following that, it was just, yeah, kind of a slippery slope. So it was a lot of time like pausing, reflecting, figuring out what do I want to do, and also trying to figure out if the email that I got, it was great because it gave me clarity in terms of what I need to focus on for the rest of this month, in terms of which courses matter. It also made me rethink my next steps in terms of like, do I do my degree by challenging the courses that I'm able to challenge, or do I actually take the physical courses, which is more work, but I'm probably able to get it done like a few months quicker in terms of my degree. So it's just kind of figuring that stuff out. So I'll do the similar view to last week where you'll see my face, I'll be talking through it, but then I will also add kind of like a screenshot or an image of each day's list of what I wanted to get done. And I'll also add, if you're new here, I tend to do, for the most part, where I write out like all of my ideas of what I think I want to do or could potentially do for the day. And sometimes in the morning it's just a bit of a brain dump and then I'll go through and do what I can. But you will see some days where there's a decent list of stuff that maybe isn't completed. So without further ado, looking at Monday. So as I mentioned in previous videos, I'm currently working on my statistics course and I did really good in the first unit. I got up to basically the last question of my assignment. And then for some reason I just felt blocked and I waited probably a week and a half to do that one question and submit my assignment. So each day you'll see for many of the days I have stats, but I didn't actually work on my course last week. Yeah, it just got a bit blurred. So in terms of Monday, I had my statistics. I had my assignment 1 that I wanted to finish. That was just that one question. I wanted to finish my second unit, which would be reading 3 chapters and doing the related assignment questions for those chapters. And I didn't do anything on that. One thing I did do on Monday is I received the initial feedback for my portfolio I have just submitted recently for challenging a course. So essentially they go through, they do an initial review, and then they send me back any feedback. So I got that email back and that is kind of what sidetracked me on Monday. So I spent some time applying those changes that they recommended and getting that submitted back the same day. I also did get good news on Monday, so I found out that my PMP, or my Project Management Professional certificate that I did at the end of October, I found out that I'm actually able to use that to challenge my project management course within my bachelor's degree. So the one thing I did for that is I had to email my academic advisor and just get confirmation that it fits into my degree, which it does. I was able to get that confirmed and send that back to them kind of a little bit later in the week. But that's really exciting. So usually I would have to do like a big portfolio and show my knowledge, but that's just a one-for-one, that certification, just as like a checkbox. And I just paid the fee and then they're applying that like as we speak. So that will be exciting to get that done. And then my other item on here was YouTube. So I had my November review video that I had filmed. So I just wanted to go through, edit that, do the thumbnail, and get that all ready to go. I did have filming here as an item that I wanted to do on Monday, but I was pretty busy with the other items that I wound up kind of focusing on. So I didn't do any filming that day, but I did a lot of editing and getting YouTube stuff ready. So I still worked on the YouTube side of things. And then I did write down my habits here. So this was the first week that I have the habit tracker in my journal for like the week overall, where I just color in the associated kind of circles. So the first day I was just a creature of habit. I wrote down my habits as normal, only to kind of realize after I wrote it that I do have the sticker that I'm changing to. So that's the only day I think I did that. But anyway, I did pretty good that day. However, I didn't get ready. And I think for a lot of the days, because I don't have a sticker tracking like day by day, did I get ready? I actually stopped tracking that, and it would have been interesting for me to now look back and say, okay, you know, I didn't have a great week mental health wise. How many of those days did I actually like intentionally get ready? I would have been interested to kind of look back and see that. In terms of Tuesday, so Tuesday I just had a pretty mellow day. I made the payment for my course, for those credits I talked about earlier. I really just had a rest day. I listened to kind of an audiobook. I had a bubble bath. And that was about it. Really, Tuesday was very chill. On Wednesday, so I rescheduled my exam again, so that's just kind of continuously getting bumped back. However, I do know now that I need to have that one and my finance one done for sure by the end of December. So it's a little bit of a fire, and it's Monday now, and I've got my stat exam scheduled for Saturday to finish that up and just force myself to do it. It's obviously not a topic I'm very excited about. However, I did do a few things for my business actually on Wednesday. So I did my newsletter, which was great. I got a blog post created and uploaded. I also created an end card for my YouTube videos, which I've been meaning to do for a while. It was super quick. It was just a matter of sitting down and doing it. And I also wanted to go through like all of my VLOGMAS videos and actually add the cards that I had talked about. There were a couple videos, this is the 4th, so there were a couple videos where I hadn't added those yet, so I just went back and added all the cards. And that was really it for Wednesday. It was more of like a business focused day, which I'm wanting to have more days like that, so that was great. Thursday again was a very mellow day. I was originally supposed to have my final that day, but I did bump it. I did get ready on Thursday because I went out. I took the dogs out to the lighthouse. If I can find the clip, I'll add a little clip so you can kind of see. I did add it on my stories on Instagram. And so we just went for a little walk. We went to the lighthouse, which is like right by the ocean, really beautiful views. And I went to the grocery store and just grabbed a bunch of groceries and just kind of got us stocked up. So Thursday was like a good day for getting myself out of the house, which I think is what I needed to do for myself. In terms of Friday, so Friday I filmed 2 videos, and those were the videos that went up Saturday and Sunday. So that was my reading journal setup. You can check out that video. I will link it. I kind of found out while I was doing that the dotted planner that I had bought was not really a planner. It was more of like a glued notebook, kind of set up kind of like a planner. So it was a bit of a kind of make do with what I have kind of situation. And I'm really excited to kind of get some actual planning stuff and be able to go back and decorate it a little bit more. But in terms of my annual pages setup, I have done that and created a video. And then on Sunday, also related to more like books and reading, I did do a what I read the first week of December video. So for October and November, I did the month-long videos, but I was just recalling exactly kind of what I thought of the books that I read earlier in the month was a little bit difficult. And if I'm reading 15-20 books a month, it kind of makes more sense to just do like a weekly snapshot. So that's what I started to do, and I uploaded my first one on Sunday, so that was pretty exciting. And moving on to Saturday, so on Saturday I did 2 of my readiness rationales. So like I mentioned earlier in the video, I found out that basically I had registered for 3 of my courses that I'm planning on doing next semester too early. So funnily enough, I registered early so that they could see for my student loan application that I was enrolled in the 3 courses. However, because I enrolled in November and not in December, they counted as a different semester. So what I've had to do is actually go through and cancel. Luckily, I was still within the cancellation time frame by like 5 days, but I've had to go through and cancel and request a refund on all 3 of those courses. And those 3 courses are courses that I've already kind of been approved to submit a request to challenge. And so I had all the forms and stuff, but what I had decided is because the challenging, I have to create a big portfolio, which I get up to 12 weeks to do. And then I submit it, and then I get feedback. So that's like another 1 to 2 weeks. And then I submit the final version, and then they take up to a month for me to find out if the course is approved or not, for kind of it to have been challenged and be kind of added towards my degree. And the downside with it is I can only do 1 course at a time, so you can't do more than 1 kind of together. And I have essentially 4 courses that I wanted to do next semester. One of them I was already challenging, and I really wanted to get my degree done by April. So my plan was to go through and just kind of do the physical courses, get them knocked out, finish my degree like 6 months sooner, but be in school full-time, get the student loan, and get that kind of funding to have that financial safeguard just in case it takes me a while to kind of bring in the income that I'm needing with my business, or to get a job, or kind of whichever avenue I go. So I had originally planned to have that student loan. So what I've decided is I'm going to, and I have applied to challenge all 3 of those courses. So I had a form with basically for each course outcome, I had to describe what is my experience that would kind of give me that knowledge. And then the instructor will determine if I'm qualified to go through the process of trying to create the portfolio and challenging it like officially. So I've gone through and done that, but unfortunately those courses, even though each one's like a 12-week course, they are not eligible for student loans, which I hadn't realized originally when I had applied for my student loan. So I was going to do the physical courses, it would have been fine, but I've decided if I do this where I'm challenging the timing of finding out kind of the issues with the student loans that I'm having with going through like the challenging of some courses and doing the physical of others, I decided it was kind of just a sign that I should take a step back, do the challenge route, go a little bit slower, and not be in full-time school where I'm every day kind of having to study. And instead I can just create the portfolio and then really focus on my business and what I'm wanting to do for my personal goals and my business goals in between each of the portfolios. And then it's also much cheaper in terms of the courses. It's like $36 a credit, and each course is 3 credits. So it's like $100 and change for each course, versus if I was to actually take the full course, it's closer to kind of $600 to $800 a course. So significantly cheaper, but it means that I don't get the student loan, and I'm not getting unemployment or anything right now. So it's kind of definitely having some faith in everything working out for me. And then the other items I had here is just kind of small admin things. So I emailed to get an update on if the paperwork I submitted for my divorce hearing was all good and if there was any concerns. And she confirmed back today actually that they'll be put in front of the judge on the 15th, and then I should hear back after that. So another kind of few days to hopefully have good news, fingers crossed. Also, I just had to confirm one of my deadlines for my courses. So I was originally planning on doing my statistics course, and then my business ethics course, and then my financial management course. But for my student loan, the ones that actually count, I thought it was all 3 of them counted, but the ones that count are just the finance and the statistics, because the ethics one I had registered too early. So basically what that means is rather than doing the original order, I need to do my statistics and then go straight into my finance, get that done by the end of ideally before Christmas is my target, but the end of December really is when I need to get it done by. And then my ethics course deadline between when I registered and when the course expires is the 10th of January. So I'm going to do that at the end, kind of heading into Jan. That's kind of my plan. And then the last thing here was just kind of cleaning. So cleaning the kitchen, taking the garbage and the compost up, and that was just kind of doing the weekly stuff for the house. I also finished my Christmas shopping, so I just ordered the last few things that I had for some people on my list who had left. and that's all done. So I feel really good that that's kind of checked off, and all of the stuff is kind of being processed and shipped to either where the people live or to my sister's house where I'm going for Christmas. So that's really exciting. And then on Sunday, I also did my 2025 planner. So I have been meaning to go through and like date each month and kind of go through that. It's a little bit tedious to do in Canva. I did go through yesterday, and I did add, kind of for each month, I added all of the numbers. So now all I have to do is just go through and make sure everything's lined up properly, make sure each month has the right the right amount of numbers, whether it ends on the 30th or the 31st. And then I need to do some little tweaks, like where, because I have the 5 rows in my calendar, if there's one where like the 31st, say, is on the same block as another one, I need to add the line. Or for some reason Canva wasn't cooperating and I couldn't shorten the line that I was trying to add. So I just need to go back to that and kind of do those little finishing touches. And then I would love your feedback. So right now I have a daily planner that I'm updating. So I went through and I added all of the dates on the monthly calendar overview. And then each day, because it's a digital calendar, like a PDF calendar that you can use in GoodNotes, each day has 2 pages. And so it's a lot of pages to go through and date each one myself. And I was also thinking, if you're using it, you might not want to have the dated pages that you're skipping because it is a daily, and it might be something that you prefer to just write in the date. So I would love your feedback on, would you actually want it dated? I feel like myself, I would prefer it to be undated on the dailies, and then I can write in what I need to, and then if I miss a couple days, I can just continue on the next page rather than having all of these blank pages. But I would love your thoughts on that. But that should be up on my Etsy shop, I would say, by the end of this week, in terms of the one that is just the dated version on the monthly spread, and then the undated daily pages. And then I had a couple things on here that I wanted to do if I had the space to do it, and that was to go up and sort the garbage. So the way our garbage is picked up, because it's a small island, is we're billed like by the bag. So when we have the smaller kitchen bags, that would be the same as a big garbage bag. So I have to go through and like consolidate everything into the big bags. But the garbage pickup was canceled for this week, so I didn't wind up kind of pushing myself to go and do that anyway. The other items I had for Sunday was to film my Tuesday video. So again, I didn't do that because it wasn't an urgent need. I had a video ready for Monday. This is Sunday, and I figured I could just have a planning day the next day, get a couple videos filmed, so all good there. Playing an instrument, again, this was like a nice to do. I put this here because one of my goals is to practice my instruments at least kind of once a week, and I hadn't done anything this week, but I didn't get around to it. Other things kind of took priority. And then I had to do my readiness rationale for my last course. So I completed that and I got that submitted. So that was my 3rd one that I submitted, which is kind of the remainder of the courses that I would have to do next semester that I don't already have approval to challenge. So it's like a requested challenge. And then I also finally wrapped up the Unit 1. So I got that assignment in and just kind of pushed myself to do that, just to at least try to push through that block a little bit, with the intention that then this week I'm on the 2nd unit of there's 5 units total for me to do. And then I can really just focus on getting kind of like a unit done a day, and then having a day or so for studying, and then doing the exam on Saturday evening. Alright, so moving into the weekly overview section. So I'll start on the to-do list. So the statistics final, obviously I bumped that. I just didn't have the capacity to really focus on that when I was trying to figure out all of my school stuff and what I'm doing next semester, what I'm doing financially, and then just as I mentioned, having a bit of a rougher week. In terms of my VLOGMAS kind of PLANMAS videos, I did get one uploaded every single day, so feeling really good about that in terms of the first week. So I am treating this as a bit of a challenge. I'm really determined to have a video go up every day through the challenge, and actually hopefully kind of beyond that, whether it's daily or just more than the amount I was doing previously, which was 3 videos a week. Just really getting into the creative kind of cycle of getting that content created It's also fun because my content is a lot about like reading and planning and goal setting, which is all stuff I do anyway. So it's nice to have that kind of accountability to actually sit down and do it and just kind of think through what I'm doing. Like these videos are great for me because I get to actually go over like what did I do, what did I not do, and there is a level of accountability on myself that kind of comes with doing these. In terms of Christmas shopping, so I got that all done, so that's highlighted. Maisie follow-up, so I mentioned last week, she went to the vet because she had a kind of like a mass that had developed on her front leg. The vet said sometimes they fall off if they're young. Some breeds kind of get these masses when they're puppies and then they fall off. And some of the breeds she mentioned was like Boxer, Staffies, and Maisie is kind of like Brindle, and she's a mixed breed. We don't know what she is. So that did actually wind up falling off, which is good. Otherwise we would have had to get it removed. So it's nice that that was kind of a non-issue. The next one I have here was to start my management course. So obviously I've totally shuffled that, and that won't be something I start until like the end of December. My daily rituals course, so this is going through and creating my course for the importance of daily rituals. How do you look at your current state? How do you establish your desired state? And how do you get yourself into these daily habits and daily rituals that will help kind of move you in a direction you want to go. So that is a course that kind of goes with a bundle that I've already got up on my Etsy shop, and I'll link that in the description if you're interested. But I just really want like a full course kind of diving into that, and that was something I wanted to get launched at the end of this current week. So by like the 15th, I was hoping to get that prepared and launched. So we'll see how we go. I haven't started on that, but I did do the planner, so I'm planning on just wrapping up the planner, getting that checked off and off of like my mental to-do list. And then next I'll be going through my daily rituals course creation. I did get the blog and the newsletter done, so that's good. Those have been on my list kind of a few weeks running, and just trying to build myself up to get back into creating those. So I think once you have the first one done, it's usually a little bit easier to keep up the rhythm. So it was good to get through that block and get those out. In terms of tracking food, so I did really good for like the first half of the week, fell off a little bit on the second half, but still feeling pretty good, and I'm still wanting to continue to track my food, and I'm doing that through MyFitnessPal, which is a free app. But really just like in terms of the mindfulness and making sure that I'm staying aware of what I'm eating is really my main purpose with that. My PLAR edit, so that was based on my portfolio feedback that I got, applying those and sending it back, so I did that. And then the last one was just kind of playing instruments, so I didn't do that during the week. Moving to the right hand side here where I have all of my main kind of mindfulness activities, I did actually do everything this week, so I'm feeling really good. So my journaling I do every morning. My meditation, I generally like to do a guided meditation, but I do also do the binaural beats at night when I go to bed. And so I have that time to kind of reflect and kind of go into that meditative state every night. So feeling good about that. And then in terms of movement, I did kind of take the dogs for their nice walks every evening. We actually went for a couple really good walks where we kind of walked all the way down to the trail, did the full trail, and then came all the way home. So a couple really, really good walks for the dogs and for me. But in terms of movement, I'm really wanting to integrate more intentional movement beyond walking. And I know I've mentioned this for a while, and this is just, again, a personal block I have for some reason that I'm trying to figure out how to overcome and work through. And essentially what I'm wanting to do is either do like yoga and stretching, incorporate some weight training, potentially something else, but just some actual intentional movement that's beyond just kind of like going for a walk, and getting myself and my body used to like being in movement more, just because a lot of time I'm spent like at the computer or reading a textbook or things like that, just for what I'm currently doing in life. And so really trying to build myself up for that. So that's something I'm continuing to put week after week, but also trying to give myself a little bit of grace with kind of the pace at which I'm overcoming it, just with all of my other stuff that I'm trying to work through currently. So just kind of striking that balance. Is there as a reminder. I'm getting my daily walks, which is great, getting outside every day for that. But just trying to figure out how to move forward on the other pieces. So Thank you so much for watching. That is my weekly recap. As always, if you have any questions, please do let me know. This is something I'm going to continue to do every single week. As I mentioned, I personally like the accountability, so it's great for me to do, and hopefully you enjoy watching these. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a like. I would also really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you always know when I upload a new video, especially throughout the rest of Vlogmas, where I am uploading every single day. Thank you. Have a beautiful day.